Azalea is my #1 deck to build for Sage right now. Hello and welcome to the table, and today I'm back with another Sage deck tech video. Today talking about Azalea. And boy is this deck fun. She's 4 intellect, 20 life, ranger hero. Once per turn, you can put a card from your arsenal on the bottom of your deck, put the top card of your deck face up in your arsenal, and if it's an arrow, gets dominate for the turn. That's absurd. That is completely and utterly absurd. And I love it. You can play giant bumping cards, stuff that makes your stuff bigger by like 3 damage or whatever, play a couple of those, then play something that comes in, like this dry powder shot, for like, I don't know, 13 damage with dominate. That's insane. And you can go wide with cards like bolt and shot. I mean, it's just, and no matter what deck that you're playing against, you're going to have something that just completely screws them over. It's just awesome. It's just insane. This deck's broken. This deck's insane. But, hey, before I get into the rest of the video, make sure to stay tuned until the end, because this deck does really well in the gameplays that I'll be coming up on here in a second, so stay tuned for that. But, getting back to the video, what does Azalea have in her arsenal? Haha, see what I did there? Funny joke, right? But, what do I got? Death Dealer, the best bow in the game, one of the best weapons in Sage, maybe the best weapon in Sage, probably not, but close, because you can spend 1, and if you have no cards in your arsenal, put an arrow from your hand face up in your arsenal, and draw a card. Boom. Boom. You just replace the card that you just put in your arsenal. That could be something that makes that card you just put in your arsenal, that arrow you just put into your arsenal, 3 damage bigger. That's pretty good. Maybe give it an important on-hit, or something along those lines. That's absolutely absurd. Completely insane. Yeah, it costs 1 resource to activate, because, I mean, most of this deck costs nothing to play, but that's fine. That's completely fine. Because you have something like Garland of Spring, which, as an action, you can just gain a resource with it. And, of course, go again, so you can actually use that resource, but still, you can just get a resource for free off Garland of Spring. That's insane. That's pretty insane. And, hey, if you want to use that 1 resource for something outside of, you know, just a 1-cost arrow attack, you could use it for Crow's Nest. Whenever an arrow is put face up in your arsenal from your deck, you can spend 1, put an encounter on it. And yeah, encounters don't really matter that much. With something like an infecting shot, it only gives it a +1 power bump, and that's pretty much it. But, you know, it can nichely matter, the encounter. But generally, use Garland of Spring, of course, to get resources to play something you couldn't have otherwise played. Maybe use something like Bolt and Boots. A brand new card, blocks your 1 battle worn, and has an attack reaction. You can spend 1, pop it, and give an arrow with power greater than its base. Go again. You can go wider. And yeah, you have ways to go wide in this deck already with something like a Bolt and Shot, but Bolt and Boots makes it that much easier, because you just have it for free in your equipment zone from the very start of the game. Pretty strong, pretty good. And hey, if you need to get something into your arsenal, you don't have the resources for something like a Death Dealer, well, you got Bullseye Bracers. Pretty strong card. It has Arcane Barrier 1, which is always nice. But as an action, with Go Again, you can pop it if you have no cards in your arsenal. You point an arrow from your hand face up in your arsenal, and it gets +1 power until the end of turn. Boom! Boom! That's insane. You can play something like a Dry Powder Shot. Boom! Point straight into the arsenal, face up, and it'll come in for 6 for 0 damage. And that's if you don't make it come in for more through many various means in the deck. I mean, just, that's insane. That's insane to me. And to ensure that you can do the stupid dominated crap with Azalea when you want to, you have Talismanic Lens to help you out, because this allows you to opt 2 at instant speed. You can look at the top 2 of your deck, put them back on the top or bottom in any order you want. So if you want to make sure that you get an arrow into your arsenal that you can, you know, dominate with Azalea, well, bada bing, bada boom, Talismanic Lens is here for you. Pretty strong, pretty good. But getting to the main deck itself, pretty much divided into 2 halves. You got all the ways to make your stuff bigger, and you actually have your threats. And Nimblism, one of them, it's the only thing that doesn't just give an arrow +3 power, so it's nice with the Ravenous Rabble, which generally is a 0 for 4 go again. With Nimblism, it's a 0 for 7 go again. That's pretty strong, but everything else, as far as pumps go, just give an arrow +3. Something like a Call in the Big Guns gives an arrow +3, and puts an arrow from your hand face up into your arsenal. Take Aim, pretty much the exact same card. Those are pretty good. That's pretty strong, pretty powerful. You got Release Attention. Also gives a +3 bump. Just assume everything gives a +3 bump that I'm going to talk about here. But on top of that, D-Reacts cannot be played from the arsenal in this chain link. So basically, your opponent's playing something like Florian, or a Runeblade, or a Guardian. Decks that just have a decent amount of defense reactions. Release Attention, while not as good as it is in like Classic Constructed, for example, it still makes them unable to use that defense reaction in their arsenal, parked in their arsenal. That's pretty strong and good, especially, when you're trying to go for game, you're something has Dominate, you're trying to go for game, you want to make sure that they have as little cards to work with as possible for blocking. That's really strong for that. You also got Read the Glide Path, which allows you to opt one, just make it a little bit easier for you to get Dominate onto one of your arrows. Or get Dominate in general, just dominate an arrow for 15 damage or whatever. But you also got the best of the pumps in the deck, Lace with Blood Rot, Frailty, and Inertia, which each individually, on top of giving a +3 bump, create a token on hit. Like an Inertia token, which bottom decks your opponent's arsenal at the end of turn, basically. That's awesome when your opponent's trying to get a couple extra value cards in their arsenal. Nope, no more. That's really good. Lace with Frailty creates a Frailty token on hit and makes all weapons and all cards from Arsenal come in for 1 less damage. Yeah, this deck doesn't really ever block, but gaining life effectively when you can is pretty nice and good and powerful, especially against decks that, have 1 power weapons that maybe have a good on hit that you really would rather not want to deal with. Assassins! It's pretty good, pretty strong. And you got Lace with Blood Rot, which makes a Blood Rot Pox token, which at the end of turn pops, deals 2 damage to the opponent unless they pay 3. That's really strong. That gets a blue out of them, or they take 2 damage. Either way, you're a very happy camper. But then, of course, you got your threats. You got Bolt and Shot to go wide. We got the red, yellow, and blue of this card. If it has Power Granted in its base, it's a 0 for 4 go again. That reloads on hit. That puts something face up in your arsenal on hit. That's really strong and good. Yeah, otherwise, it's just a 0 for 4. Which ain't bad either. And you got, of course, Dry Powder Shot. As long as it's face up in your arsenal, it gets +2 for the turn. 0 for 5. That's pretty insane. Drill Shot, 0 for 4. That, it can, on hit, give a -1 defense counter to an equipment they control. That's absurd. That's really good. Your opponent, near the end of the game, they really want to make sure that they have as many equipment to block with as possible. And this just says, 1 less defense. 1 less defense near the end of the game. That's absurd. That's absurdly good against any deck when you're playing this deck. That's just always going to be good. But, of course, you also got other cards like Searing Shot, which is just a 0 for effectively 5, but it's a 0 for 4 on hit. The hero loses a life. So it's kind of like a Dry Powder Shot, except your opponent generally respects Searing Shot a little bit more. Because of the on hit, it's like, ooh, maybe I take less damage. But then, of course, you got Sedation Shot, which it's a 1 for 5. And on hit, creates an Inertia token under the hero's control. This card isn't as good, and generally when you're going to, side in for something from the arsenal, or from the inventory, you're going to take this out and put something else in. Because, it's good against some decks, but generally speaking, the card isn't insane. What is, however, is Infecting Shot, which is the exact same card, except it creates a Blood Rot Pox token on hit, which, 2 damage, basically. This is kind of like a 1 for 7. That's absurd. That's, absurdly absurd. And because of that, we have the yellows and the blues. Kind of like with Bolt and Shot. They're just that good that we run the full rainbow of them. And, we also got Spire Sniping as an occasional card to get value out of. If, you put it into Arsenal with Azalea, you just get to get a little peek at what's going on the top of the deck. Or if you just put it face up in your Arsenal and then flip it out with something else with Azalea. It's just it's nichely good. Pretty much never matters, but it's a blue block 3, which, is mostly what matters for this card. But if you do need some extra support from the arsenal, well, I got you there because, hey, 1 more piece of Arcane Barrier in the Null Ruin Boots. Yeah, the leg piece is really strong, but I would argue that the head and chest piece is stronger, so this, as the boots, is best to have as your second piece of Arcane Barrier. On top of that, you also got a pretty large amount of good arrows to, switch out for the Sedation Shot. You got Fatigue Shot against Go Tall decks because when it hits a hero, the base power of their first attack gets halved on their next turn. Something's coming in for, 8. You're playing against Guardian deck. Something's coming in for 8. Yeah, that's actually 4 instead. That's pretty strong. That's pretty good. And it's also 1 for 5, just like, Sedation Shot. Except that on hit is going to matter way more often against something like a Guardian deck, or any Go Tall deck. But on the flip side of things, Hamstring Shot is great at hampering, well, Go Wide decks. Because it gives their first attack on their next turn, when it hits, one additional cost. It's going to cost one more to play. Something that's going to attack for, 0 cost. It'll cost 1 instead. And yeah, that one extra resource, you don't think it matters, but every single resource matters in this game. And if your opponent has to spend 1 or more damage, that generally can do so much work. And you're going to see it do work in a game, actually. You also got Sleep Dart, which, on hit, makes the hero lose all abilities until the end of their next turn. So, you're playing against a deck that just really relies on their hero ability. Well, Sleep Dart says no on hit, which, isn't always going to matter a ton, but against the right deck, is really good to have. It's really good to have. And then Murkmire Grapnel, only really good against Enigma, but it's still good. 0 for 4, and damage cannot be, that would be dealt by this, cannot be prevented. So against decks that have a lot of ward, or Spectral Shields, or a mixture of the two, mostly Enigma, this card just says, I'm gonna deal damage anyways. And that's pretty strong. And that's the deck. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I hope that you all look forward to, playing this deck maybe down the road. Let's jump right into some games. See how well Azalea does. Alright, going against Vynnset. They're gonna go first. That sucks. I'm not gonna put in Null Rune Boots because this deck needs that new leg piece really bad. Fatigue Shot, I think should go in. Hamstring Shot, I don't think needs to go in. Vynnset doesn't really go super wide. Murkmire Grapnel, I wouldn't say so. Sleep Dart, maybe? But I don't think so. I will get rid of the Sedation Shot and just put in Fatigue Shot. I think that's the way to go. So submit deck, and going up against Vynnset, and going second, which is not great, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, they're just gonna play Read the Runes, and pass the turn to me. I don't really know exactly what the point of that was, because it doesn't really help them at all, but I'll take it, I guess. Let's Death Dealer, pitching Infecting Shot, loading. Should it be the Drill Shot? Or should it be Dry Powder Shot? Let's do Dry Powder Shot. See if we can. Ooh, it should have been the Drill Shot. Alright. Ace with Blood Rot. So that'll be a +3 bump. Calling the big guns. That'll be a +3 bump. And then Dry Powder Shot. Let's see. I want to say 11? Okay. Yeah, I got it right. So if this hits, they make a Blood Rot Pox token, which is pretty strong, in my opinion. Maybe I should have put in the Arcane Damage Dealing Boots, because I played a Florian deck recently with this deck, and it just saved all the freaking rune chants until the very end. And it's like, oh, I needed these boots. It's just gonna be, like, constant, ooh, blocking a lot of cards, okay. Beckoning Haunt, Marvin Skies, wow, a lot of 2s. Okay, they're doing that. I'm like, wow, they're blocking with, pretty much their entire hand, and it's just all 2 blocks, which is not very good. We're gonna block with Equipment. Ooh, Bloodied Oval, and Blade Beckoner Helm. Okay. They're blocking 8. They're probably gonna have a defense reaction. Never would have guessed. It's a Sigil of Suffering. A card that is pretty freaking broken. I'm just gonna take the damage. This deck does not want to pitch its good cards. Okay. So they blocked it all. And then Arsenal Drill Shot. Ooh, we got some good bumps for the Drill Shot. Not great ones, but we got some good ones. And whoo, baby. So I'll pitch the blue. I'll take 1. And then this is for 6. Okay. For 6. They don't have anything banished yet, and they are not going to have runes yet. So it's going to be an off turn for them next turn. I think I just take this, because I'll play both of these to make that into the Drill Shot into like a 10, and I'll, yeah, Arsenal the Infecting Shot for the following turn. So I think I just take 6. Should have blocked with the Bolton Boots. No, I'll wait to block with the Bolton Boots for a little bit, in case there's something really important I need to block with. Okay. let's place with Frailty. Give a +3 bump. And on hit Frailty, token created, and take aim, which the reload will unfortunately not happen. And then drill shot. For 10. See what the opponent does. I think next turn I'll try to do a dominate arrow with Azalea. Because they'll probably want to... Well, this is their setup turn. Are they going to block a lot? Okay, they're just going to block with these. And maybe a defense reaction or two. Nope, okay. Cool. Temper. I think I Blackstone Greaves. Like, put the -1 on the Blackstone Greaves. Yeah. Let's submit like this. Pass. Put the -1. Because that blocked. That can't block. Blackstone Greaves. That's the one. Because that's a pretty good card to put a -1 defense counter on. Alright, and then I'll arsenal the Infecting Shot. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. And this is why Bolton Boots is good. I'm going to block with Bolton Boots this turn, maybe. Probably not, honestly. Yep, I should have blocked with it on an earlier turn. Shoot. To be fair, I don't have pretty much anything to pitch, which is unfortunate. Let's read the glide path first to see what we're looking with on top. We got a Nimblism on top. Do I just say screw it with the Infecting Shot? Get that out of here and then Searing Shot for a bunch? Because I'll like load it in with the Bullseye Bracers. But then I lose my one source of Arcane Barrier. Is that worth it? I mean, they're at 13. I would say that's worth it. And unfortunately, Azalea. Getting rid of that, putting in a Nimblism. Using Nimblism to bump. Nimblism to bump. Bullseye Bracers to load. And then Searing Shot for a billion. 14. Close enough, right? That's a billion damage. Totally. But yeah, 14. That's a pretty large number. Not gonna lie. And if they block out of this, they have one Rune Chant. And they have one... They might not even be able to do the Phantom Banshee next. I don't know. Depends. I don't think they're going to be able to block out of this, is what I'm saying. Because they used the Blade Beckoner Helm. They're basically shield. The Blackstone Greaves I don't think is going to be able to help them much. And the Beckoning Haunt, if they do use that this turn, that'll be great. And I'll definitely be happy with that, because I'll have the Talismanic Lens to like set up a good Dominated Arrow next turn. Okay, blocking for 5. What defense reactions do you got? What defense reactions? Reduced Rune Chant. Never would have seen that one coming. That's actually absurdly good for them next turn, because then they can get rid of a card from hand. They might have another defense reaction. Okay, they don't. And they took 5. And then one more. So they're down to 7. Ooh, we could kill them next turn. This Fatigue Shot, though, is good. Well, I need to have something in the arsenal. So I'll arsenal the Fatigue Shot. Lace, and I have Bolton Shot. Baby, that's a lot. Okay, playing 2 of those. Jeez. 1, 2, 3 Rune Chants. So 3 Rune Chants and a Phantom Banshee. That's 10 damage. That's a pretty large amount of damage, not gonna lie. That is a pretty large amount of damage. 3, 6, and hopefully... Because I have the Garland Spray in case a 1-cost goes in the arsenal that I put in off of the Azalea next turn. If it is a 1-cost, that'll actually be really nice. Because, let's see, it'd be 5... Okay, sorry. Pass. Pass. And come in for 1, 2, 3 rune chance. And then 7. Do I block with any of these? I think I do. Because then I'll be able to stall for another turn if I need to. And I don't think I'm going to need the resources but between these two cards next turn, and I'm not going to be going wide next turn. And I'll block with the Bolt and Boots for sure. And then do I block with both of these? I'd have 9 life. I'd like to keep the Garland of Spring. So I'll block with the yellow Bolt and Boots, keep up the blue, in case, like, I need the extra resource. Safer than sorry. Rather be safe than sorry. Maybe 3, 6, and then 11. They have 2 block. They're going to have nothing in Arsenal. 2, 6. Yeah. I'll block with those 2. And then pass. Because next turn's likely going to be another setup turn for them. So I take no damage. Goes to my turn. I'll use the Talismanic Lens. Cool. Bottom that. Keep the Searing Shot on top. That is about the best possible case scenario. So that's what I do. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Now I Azalea. No encounter. Lace. Lace. Searing Shot for 10. Dominate. I probably won't win right now, but I'll get them down to pretty much nothing. Block for 3. They can block for 2 at the Beckoning Haunt. And it's dominated. Do they not realize that? What are they doing? I don't think there's a way for them to, like, instant speed gain life. Yeah, they're probably like, why can't I not block? Because it has dominate. Yep, okay. I'm like, yeah, you kind of need to redo that. I'm sorry, buddy. Alright, yep. Blocking for 2, and then for 3. So you're blocking 5. But, you're gonna take 6. So you're going down to 1 life. So if I deal 1 damage to you, you just lose. And you have 2 inertias that you're gonna... it doesn't really matter if there's like 2 inertias versus 1 inertia. So they're at 1, I'm at 9. There's no way I'm gonna be able to lose next turn. Card vanished. A lot of stuff vanished. Okay. What are they... They're banishing so many cards. What the heck is going on? It's a glitch, because Deathly Whale is the one. Boy, this is not annoying at all. All these freaking Deathly Whale triggers. Okay. Runeblood Incantation is being played. And then what? Are you gonna do the Deathly Whale thing? I don't think you'll be able to kill me that way. I don't think so. So I'll block with a Fatigue shot for 3. And I'll have these. Yeah, okay. I'll block with Fatigue shot. And then what? I don't think I block anything else. I'll take 3. So they'll be able to kill me next turn. But I need to kill them this turn. Simple as that. So that's Death Dealer. Pitching that. Loading that. Okay. I'm good at Blind Azalea. Yeah. Let's... Blind Azalea. Let's go. Let's go. I am a god. Alright, and release the tension. Dry powder shot for 8 dominate. GG, opponent. GG's. Whoo! That was close. That was super close. Wow. That was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I mean, Vynnset's a good deck, don't get me wrong, but whoo, I cannot believe that it was that close. Going against Lyath. Alright. Sorry, I'm trying to comment to that guy. I'm gonna go first. Deck. Fatigue shots. See, it's the base power. Lyath just bumps it to the moon. Hamstring shot. Honestly, probably hamstring shot. Murkmire, Grapnel, no. Sleep Dart, definitely no. Let's go with hamstring shot, taking out sedation shot. And I think that's going to be pretty good, because Lyath plays 0-cost cards, and hamstring shot makes it a little bit harder. So let's go with that. Going against Lyath will be pretty fun in my opinion. So let's just go ahead. Hamstring shot right off the rip is absurd. Read the glide path. Seeing what we got on top. What are you doing? Oh, giving cards +1 defense. Okay, that makes sense. The crowd boos Lyath because they want Azalea to win. Totally. Keep that on top because I'm going to be able to draw that in a second. Give another +3 bump. Pitch with the Spire Sniping. I'm not going to be able to have an Arsenal, which is semi-unfortunate here, but I mean, I can keep calling the big guns because the opponent's just going to block. 3, 6, and then what would this be? 10. Wait, no. 3, 6, 9. I kind of want to force equipment blocks early if I can. 1, 2. Ooh. Honestly, this might be a bit risky, but I'll play Calling the Big Guns for another +3, and then I'll come in with Hamstring Shot for 14. The opponent likely is going to be able to block out fully, but I'll be able to get some equipment block out of Lyath, which is important. Because, I mean, 2, 4, yep. Blocking for 6, what? Does Lyath have defense reactions? He's taking it. Okay. I'll take that, I guess. Submit. Thought he was... Huh. Why'd he use his equipment if he wasn't gonna block out? It's interesting. Well, I mean, I guess, like, you don't have to. Only use your equipment if you're gonna block out fully. Ooh, boy. Okay. I'll be able to Ravenous Rabble into Bullseye. Bolton into maybe Dry Powder Shot. Woof. Okay. And Lyath probably isn't going to block. Okay, what are you... Cruel Ambition. A lot of might tokens. Does that cost 1? Or are you playing this? Oh. That's why. Because I made your thing cost 1, and now it doesn't cost 1. That's kind of annoying, actually. Is it the first action or attack action? First attack. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess you didn't have to play that just yet, but that is annoying. What happens next? That is really annoying. Okay. So let's see. Bumping by 3, 6, and then what? Yep. 3, 6. That should be 8 damage, right? What are you doing? Oh, and then 1 off the might. Let's see. How much damage would that do? 3, 6, 7 with the might. I think it's 9 damage, right? I want to say it's 9 damage. That sounds right. Lyath is interesting. I like, kind of want to build a Lyath deck in Sage because the deck seems super fun. It's kind of like a semi-worse Azalea. So, like, if Azalea ever gets banned at some point, just play Lyath. Because, like, they're... I mean, obviously, they're not the same deck. But they're kind of similar when you think about it. I don't know. What are you doing, opponent? Are you gonna play that dominated guy? I mean, you kind of need to, because the inertia is gonna just bottom deck it anyways. But... I don't know. What are you going to do, opponent? I think it is, because the might went off. I think you made a might, right? When the card boosts, you make a might token, yeah. So, 1 might, 2 nimbleisms, so that's 7. And then, this shouldn't cost anything. With the cost of 1 or more. You can't play that. Oh my goodness. What happens next only gives the first card with the cost of 1 or more you play. -1 cost. And that card, I can't remember the name of it now, but it costs 0. And he can't pitch to High Riser, so he just wastes his turn. I am so sorry, opponent. I am so sorry. I think they're just going to sit here now until they time out. Alright. Sorry about that last game. The opponent rage quit. Kit's kind of... Yep, playing Enigma. That sucks. And this is exactly why Murkmire Grapnel is in the deck, because it's a really good card against that deck, because it prevents a lot of damage, infinite amounts of damage. Should I put in Hamstring Shot? Fatigue Shot I don't think needs to go in. Sleep Dart, what does Enigma do? Is your first Spectral Shield 1 less to activate? Create a Spectral Shield token with I think Sleep Dart's pretty good, so I will take out yellow. Do I take out yellow infecting shots? I would say so. I think that's fair. I don't think I'd take out the Bolton shots. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think this list is fine. Unfortunately, I do not go first, which really sucks, but hey, we will see how it goes. Alright. What are you going to do, Enigma? What are you going to do? So I've won twice. I won against... I don't know what the first deck I won against was at this point. I'm trying to remember the deck. Okay. Playing an Essence of Ancestry Body. Never would have seen that one coming. Alright. And waiting for a player to choose. Alright, they just passed me. That is fine by me. Let's go ahead and... Grab Mr. Apple. Please don't reveal a blue. Gosh dang it. I run so few blues in this deck. Oh my god. Alright, the opponent just takes 2. That makes sense, because then they're going to prevent the next red source. That sucks so much. I think I just lose. Why did I do that? Undo. Yeah. Damage. Pass. Alright, Death Dealer. Pitch Infecting Shot. Let's see what we draw. We'll put Bolton Shot. And, of course. I mean, why'd I think that it was anything else besides that Infecting Shot? Let's go ahead and do a Bolton Shot. Even though it's not going to be able to hit it all. Yep, they just take that. Waiting for them to choose their action. And I'll put this Infecting Shot blue into the arsenal? Question mark? Because I'm thinking I might dominate next turn. I don't know for sure if that's going to be the case or not. A turn, pass, do a lace, or Infecting Shot into the arsenal. They can prevent dominate. We didn't block with that. So let's go for the dominated one next turn. And just hope that they don't have another Essence of Ancestry Body. What are they doing here? Enigma Chimera. 8 damage. That is a pretty large amount of damage, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Alright. So, coming in for big number, I will block with the Bolton Boots, just in case I need that next turn. I don't think I will, but I'd rather block with it now, in case, like, I don't have an opportunity to next turn. Do I block with any of these cards? I don't think so. So, let's go ahead and just do that. These don't have a way to, like, prevent all my damage, so that's nice. And to me. Okay, let's start with a read the glide path, because we might need to pivot. Depends on what we see on top. Ooh, we have an infecting shot. That is nice. Let's keep that on top. That'll be really nice. Alright, get a resource. And then let's go Lace. Giving a +3 bump. Release Attention. Giving a +3 bump. No D-reaction from Arsenal. Even though... What D-reaction does Enigma run? I don't know if she runs any defense reactions. And then use Azalea. I wonder what's on top. Is it perhaps a red infecting shot? I'm not gonna do that. No. And an infecting shot for a very, very big number. That is dominated. But the opponent could use their unflinching foothold to get rid of that dominate, but then they would not be able to... Yep, they lost that one block. And that is a pretty big deal, in my personal opinion. So it's no longer dominated, but it's 14 damage, which means they would have to get rid of pretty much everything from their hand. And then block with some equipment too. I think they would literally have to block with, like, everything. 3, 6, 9, 12. Let's say everything in their hand is 3 blocks. Take 1, 1. I mean, I think they would literally need to block with, like, everything in their hand. And then also in equipment, because you would, Wave of Reality would prevent 1, because it has Ward 1. Yeah, I mean, okay, so you're blocking 8. You could use, oh yeah, defense reaction from Arsenal, potentially. Let's see what they got. What stuff do they have in instant? Oh, nope, never mind. Whose triggers do you want to resolve first? Doesn't really matter. Let's go mine. I mean, the 2 Bloodrot Pox tokens are going to be super nice to make. And then they create a Spectral Shield. And let us see what they do on their turn. Unfortunately, the Dry Powder Shot is not going to be face up. But that is okay. Ooh, this Murkmire Grapnel. If I get rid of this card from the arsenal and I, like, dominate that, are they playing this for 6? Yep, playing that for 6. Interesting. Do I take that? I'll use the Talismanic Lens next turn. I won't be able to dominate this, now that I think about it. That's unfortunate. I think I'll still use the Talismanic Lens next turn. I think I'm going to need all these cards in my hand. Because I'll probably play the Searing Shot next turn. Arsenal, the Murkmire Grapnel. I won't be able to give it Dominate, but I'll still... Yeah, okay. I'll just take it. I'll just take the 6. I will just take the 6. Down to 7. There go to Arsenal. Never would have seen that coming. Pass. 2 Bloodrot Pox tokens. What are you going to do there? I assume you're going to take 3. Or 2, sorry. Do they deal? Never mind. Okay, so on my turn, I don't want to. Let's Talismanic Lens. Opt in the top 2. See what we get. Ooh. bottom, bottom. That's gonna be really unfortunate, because now I'm worried about what I'm going to have put on top. And of course, it's a dry... Well, I guess that's fine with the dry powder shot. I guess that's fine, because it costs nothing to play. No, we're good. Because now I can go wider. That's interesting. That is interesting. Because I'll save this bullseye bracers for next turn. I'll be able to pitch a lot. Okay. Let's go with Lace with Inertia into Dry Powder Shot. I'll give it go again. And I'll play that, loading that, and go. Okay, cool. Let's go with that. This will be 8, and then 7 on hit. They take 1. Okay, they're just going to take that. I will pitch that to give it go again. And then, okay, the opponent's going to prevent 4. They're not going to be able to gain a life, which is nice. And so they prevent 4. Okay. Let's see if we can at least get him to a very low life total. So then we can try to close next turn with bullseye bracers, maybe dominate, who knows. Okay. Take aim. Oh, wait, what are we doing here? I thought I could play the take aim. Okay, there we go. Take aim. Loading in Searing Shot. And then come in for 7. On hit, they take 1. Do they prevent all the damage on that attack? How do they do that? Okay, they're blocking for 3. And then that's it. And they take 1, down to 7. And I got this hand now. Okay, Searing Shot, Drill Shot, Bolton Shot. This actually is not that good of a hand. Death Dealer, pitching, Spire Sniping. Let's see what we draw. I'll load in the Bolton Shot because that'll be the most important. It'll have go again no matter what. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, Release the Tension. That is so good. That is so good right here. I can just... Well, it won't have power greater than space. So I need to give it power greater than space. So, Release Attention. And then... Bolton Shot. Coming in for... I want to say 6. On hit... I reload. And they can't use defense reactions. I don't think Enigma plays defense reactions, to be fair. Okay. Waning Vengeance, prevent 3. And I'll create a Spectral Shield when it leaves. So, and what does that do? Prevent the next 3. Oof. Oof, that sucks. Yeah, it's gonna prevent 6. That's insane. That is insane. I'm probably gonna wait to Bullseye Bracers, honestly. I'll probably just load the Drill Shot or Searing Shot. I'll probably go for Dominate next turn, so I'll load in the Drill Shot. Oh. Wait. Pass. Let all that stuff resolve. And I will save the Bullseyes, because that might matter next turn. I don't know if it will or won't. Well, yeah. Let's see, this would be 5. And they have no Spectral Shields. 1, 1. So neither of these can block. I think I'll Bullseyes, honestly. The Bullseye. Load the Searing Shot. Come in for 5. And then next turn I'll try to Dominate, go for again. Or gain. Blah. Go for again. Go for again. Yep, that makes sense. They take 3. That's actually big. Okay, Drill Shot. And I should be able to close it next turn. Okay, or this turn, I guess. Drill shot. Ravenous Rapple. Card on top is Nimblism. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That's unfortunate. Probably should have read the glide path first. Okay, so they're blocking 3. They take 1. Let's... Okay, pass. Man. Let's just get rid of all the cards from their hand and try to do something a little bit better next turn. Okay. Keep that on top? Yes, let's keep that on top. Let's do Blood Rot and then Drill Shot for 10. Doesn't have Dominate, but I don't think they'd be able to prevent all that damage with what they got in their hand. Are they just going to take it? Okay, I didn't think so. Blocking for 2, and then are they going to ward? I think they might just lose here, honestly. And if they don't, I think the Lace with Blood Rot, the on-hit with the Blood Rot Pox token, I think that'll kill them. Yeah, I think they're dead. Oh my goodness. Unmovable. That is pretty big. But I think they still lose to the Blood Rot Pox token. Let's just put it on the headpiece. Arsenal the Sleep Dart. And I got it. Holy crap. That was close. That was super close. Whoo! Azalea is an absolute blast of a deck to play. It's pretty powerful, as long as you're not an idiot. It takes some amount of skill. Like, Azalea is a pretty simple deck for the most part, but it does take some amount of skill to get good at and play properly and all that kind of whatnot. But to be fair, that's all Flesh and Blood decks. But especially if you want to play like a super strong deck early in your Flesh and Blood career, like this is the deck that you gotta build. Of every deck in all of Flesh and Blood, this is the deck to build, at least for Sage. But hey, with all that said, I hope you all enjoy this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's completely free, you won't regret it. Check out some more of my Sage Deck Tech videos right here, and my Compendium of Rathe pack opening series right here. And I will see you next time.